Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well, and let's get into it, man. So, I got another anime for you guys. This one came out early April, I believe April 5th. It came out, and I just recently started watching it, probably like 2-3 weeks ago. I'm like on episode 4 or 5 for dub, and it's pretty decent so far. Like me, I'm more into like heavy action, a deep story, crazy adventure type of anime, right? Um, and this one is a bit more tame. It's like, sort of on the borderline, but not really. Like in the beginning, I would say I sort of wrote it off. Like I was like, I'm not interested in watching anime with an instructor who who's basically just teaching students about a sword. You know what I'm saying? Like I want adventure. I want all that. But turns out I was wrong about this anime. It is a pretty chilled anime, but it has interesting moments and sort of like a nice type of story to be cohesive with different aspects of this anime. And I think it's pretty chill. Like the name of this anime, because I'm still explaining this anime without even saying the name. But let me get to it. The name of this anime is called From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. So, like I said, this came out early April, but I was into so many other animes that I finally got a chance to watch this one, even though I wrote it all the first time. Like I wasn't, but now seeing it, watching it, you know, as the story progressed, as the anime progressed, I gotta say this is a pretty decent anime. And if I had to rate it, I would give it a 7.5. I would give it a 7.5. Reason why I give it a 7.5 because, like I said before, like I'm into heavy action, a deep story, and crazy adventures. This is more tame, more calm. So that's why I'm giving it like a 7.5. Like, don't get me wrong, it still has its action moments. It still has an interesting story and everything like that. But it's just not to the level I'm looking for. But I still like this anime and enjoy this anime. But yeah, basically, it's about an instructor who teaches students the about the sword, right? Becoming a swordsman and stuff like that. He runs a dojo in his hometown and everything like that, and he's a really good swordsman. And so all his previous students, they became successful. One became a high rank commander uh, in the kingdom, right? And basically she got her own unit and stuff like that. And then one became a very successful adventurer and have one of, not one of, but the top rank you can get as an adventurer. And for that society, it's a black rank. Sort of like, the black belt is like the highest you can get in karate and mixed martial arts. So with the adventurer in this world, the black rank is basically the highest you can get as an adventurer in that world. One became, how would I say it? One became a wizard and uses her sword as sort of like a wand and stuff like that. One became really good with a sword and is under the first, the first student I mentioned. I can't remember all their names because this anime is still sort of new to me. And even if I did remember their names, I would probably butcher all of their names. But yeah, so basically his students became successful, and one of his students, which I mentioned, the first one who became like a commander in this army within a kingdom, she came back to the town and invited him to join the army as a high-ranking instructor, which he became, successful at, instructing because he's really good at, you know, teaching, swords and stuff like that. So he's in the army, teaching, the army's newbies and, you know, seasoned warriors about, swords and, you know, basically training them how to use a sword properly and up to like a high level, basically. And, from reading this title, even though I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in, from reading this title, I guess it's like I guess they showing his way of becoming that master swordsman, because he always wanted to be a master swordsman according to the description, even though they never like basically hinted at it in the anime, but in the description they hinted at it. He always wanted to be a master swordsman. He's an instructor, but he's older. He's like in his 40s or whatever. Master swordsmen and stuff like that, you usually achieve that a little bit younger, But those days, from what the description said, those days are behind him, basically, and he's just an instructor. So I'm guessing this is like his I guess they showing like his progress on becoming a master swordsman at an older age, because usually it's probably achieved like in his 30s or something like that, and he's like over 40, and he's old, So this is just my thought process. I'm trying to piece it together. Even though I only seen a couple of episodes, I'm still trying to piece it together. I'm guessing they trying to show, like I said, his progress in becoming a master swordsman. Even though he's a really good swordsman and he's a really good instructor, I'm guessing he doesn't have the title as master swordsman. So I'm guessing, even though he's in his older age, I get it, I'm explaining it again, but I felt like I didn't do a good job at explaining it before. But let's continue. I'm guessing in his older age, they're trying to show him becoming a master swordsman regardless of his age. That's what I was trying to explain. I get it. Like I said, I explained it another time. I explained it again, but I was just trying to explain it better. But let's continue. So he's in the kingdom, and he's exploring, and some events happen where he basically got to take action and stuff like that, or even prove himself of being worthy of instructing the top army's people. He got to prove himself too. He can't just agree to the invite. See, I'm messing up already. The invite of being an instructor in the army. He has to prove himself. So he goes through trials in order to be the top level instructor. And then on top of that, like I said, it's different events. He has his fair trials and tribulations, but originally he did not want to accept the offer. He wanted to just stay in his town with his dojo and keep training students. But his former student was like, she felt like his talents was going to waste by him just staying in his hometown and not really going to the full extent, So she was like, I want to bring him into the capital and have him be the top instructor, and even, I guess, this is my guess, and even get the title of Master Swordsman. But this is a very interesting anime. Like I said, I give it a 7.5. The animation is good. I really enjoy the animation. It's really good. But at certain points, I could see it a little bit. They do use that little 3D effect, which I don't like when animes do that. Like, if you're gonna have an animation, keep it consistent. Like, I see it a little bit. Like, they don't do it a lot, but I do see it at certain points. They have this little 3D animation style, which I really don't like. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have it, keep it consistent. You know, don't keep switching back and forth. That's another reason why I sort of gave it a 7.5. It's not a big crazy thing that they constantly keep doing it, but I just noticed here and there that they use that, which I didn't like. But like I said, overall, this is a pretty good watch. I'm really liking the direction of the story, even though it's not all the way up to par like my standards in watching, you know, anime. But like I mentioned, like high level action, a deep crazy story, like a amazing types of like crazy adventures. Like, even though it's sort of tamed, you know what I'm saying, it's still a very enjoyable anime, and I really hope you guys go check it out. Like, I really liked it. Like, well, liking it so far because it just started, I guess, for dub, because this thing came out April 5th. We in May 11th. So this is still, like, you know, new to dub, I guess, because episodes are still coming out. I don't know how far Sub is. Sub probably finished this anime already. But, you know, it is what it is with that. But yeah, this is a really good anime. Y'all should go check it out. It's pretty decent. And with that being said, we got other reviews on this channel. Based on those reviews, you could take a look at those animes. We also got reactions on this channel, and based on those reactions, you could take a look at those animes as well. And I'm out.